This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. It's time for comment commentary, where I look at the comments of the videos of the last week and react to them in just, we're gonna look at the first video, which, look, poor timing on my part. You know, I did a defensive tackle video, like 2 days later, Perion Winfrey gets himself cut from the league. But Browns need Siaki and Perion Winfrey to step up. Well, now it's just Siaki. Tim says here, if Hurst stays healthy, he's going to surprise a lot of people, including Q. Has great stats when he's been on field. I'm the one who told you he's good when he's healthy. Why do people think that's going to surprise me? No, like, yeah, if Hurst stays healthy, there's no question that he's going to be good, even though there's a little bit of a question. Like, he hasn't played in 700 days. So even if he stays healthy, he might be rusty. But defensive tackle isn't one of them positions where you get super rusty like quarterback. But yeah, like, he'll be fine if he stays healthy, but you can't just hand wipe away the if he stays healthy for a dude who's never stayed healthy. That's the issue, right? You know what I mean? That's the issue with Maurice Hurst, is that, like, not only does he not stay healthy, he like super doesn't stay healthy to the point to where he's not played in 2 years. That's the thing. It's not just an if, it's a massive if. It's a I can't depend on you if. He knows that. That's why he's accepted a smaller deal to play with Cleveland, because he knows that he has to answer these questions. But yeah, man, that's not just an if. That's a major if. This one comes from KR Thunder, who says, I think there's a significant chance we sign a vet defensive tackle before the season starts, especially if training camp doesn't look great. Here's my issue with this, KR. For real. Here's my issue. We said this last year. We said this the year before last year. And we said this the year before last year. Oh, man, if we don't see anything happen with the edge rushers in camp, we're going to get an upgrade. We're going to sign somebody. We've said this since 2020. It's never happened. I can't continue to tell people that that's going to happen when I've been thinking that that's going to happen for 3 years, and it hasn't. At this point, it's obvious. That's not how they get down. How many times have we wanted the Browns to sign a vet defensive tackle? They have not done it. They don't do it. This is not how they get down. It's not going to happen. I don't think there's a significant chance of it. Even with Perion Winfrey getting himself cut off the team, there's not. And you have to look at the situation they're in to understand why. They can't continue to rely on signing dudes on one-year deals to play defensive tackle. They got to get somebody on the rookie deal to play well. In order for that to happen, they're going to have to take a risk and let somebody like Siaki Ika get some playing time. And in order for that to happen, you can't sign Matt Iadinas. So as much as I know some of y'all want the Browns to sign a vet defensive tackle, I'm going to be honest with y'all. We've been saying this for 3 years. Every year, defensive tackle or edge, camp comes, people don't look great, and then we never sign an edge or a defensive tackle. I can't tell you that's going to happen now when I've seen evidence over 3 years. It doesn't happen. Doesn't mean it won't ever happen, but I'm just telling you that that's been what the case has been for 3 years, is that we've said that for 3 years in a row, and it hasn't happened. Do with that information what you want. This video is about the Browns getting new helmets. I'd like to see stickers on the logo-less Browns helmet, just like just like the Buckeyes and several other college teams do. You want to set yourself apart from all other franchises? Yeah, man, we did the whole, like, let's take something from college and then put it in the NFL thing with the last jerseys where we threw Cleveland on the chest. We ain't got to mess with it. We ain't got to mess with it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to mess with it. The Browns have a classic, lovely uniform. You would not tell the Green Bay Packers to throw helmet stickers on their helmet. You would not tell there are some teams you just don't need to change the uniform. You could do little variations of it, but you don't need to change what has worked for years. And the Browns not putting any logo sticker on that helmet, or any type of decals on that helmet other than the stripe has worked for decades. Why change it? There's no reason to change it. There's no demand to change it. Nobody wants to change it. Part of what makes this part of the few things that makes this franchise unique is the fact that we're probably the only professional football team that rocks the no decal helmet. Why change it? Why change it? It makes no sense to change it. You know what I mean? Like, you would not want the Ohio State Buckeyes to come out here and, I don't know, rock pink, would you? Like, it would be cool. Like, the color pink's cool, but like, I don't think you don't need to change the Buckeyes and stuff. So I don't know where I was going with the whole Ohio State thing, but I'm just saying the Browns don't need to change it. Why change it? You know what I mean? Like, if you have a historical franchise with historical uniforms and brand recognition for days, you don't need to change it. Changing uniforms is for franchises that have weak brand recognition, that have small fan bases, like the Cincinnati Bengals. Shout out to them. The Browns made massive upgrades at the pass rusher position. Just my pass rusher room review. Grumpy Guy, who has the new badge, by the way. Shout out to him. That's the 30-day badge. My man's been a YouTube member for over 30 days. He has the sleeve stripe. That's what's up there. There's a 4th level of spare tire. It's called cell phone. Got a flat tire, call an Uber. This is why I think that AB didn't sign D-Hop. If disaster happens, AB needs some salary cap to make some phone calls. You never want to leave the house without your cell, dime, quarter in the old days. You never know when you need to use it. I mean, like, you just don't leave the house without your cell phone because it ain't even because you think you want to use it. You know you want to use it. You want to put the directions in for wherever you're going. But also, like, you just calling the Uber and leaving your car on the side of the road. Like, you're not going to. I'm just saying, man, just get a tow truck and get it towed. You ain't got to leave it there. Don't be one of them people. But anyways, Grumpy Guy, I think that there is some truth to this. If there's some guys or some positions, like running back's a good position to talk about, where it's like, hey, if I run into a situation, I need to be able to bring a running back off the street. Now, do you really need a bunch of cap space to do that? No, because nobody you're going to sign during the middle of the year is going to be expensive. You're not signing $10 million deals in September. You're not signing $14 million deals in October. Like, it's just not going to happen that way. You know what I mean? So I don't think you need the cap space, and I don't think that's why AB leaves the cap space. The reason AB leaves the cap space over is because that cap rolls over with some interest, I believe, into next year's salary cap space, so you can kind of save yourself money for next year if you leave yourself a little bit of money under the cap this year, as long as you're spending at the floor. So I think that's why they do that. But yeah, there's guys you're going to have to call. There's emergency situations. I think that all kind of falls under the same category. But thank you for the 4th option there that we could put. Perion Winfrey gets cut. This video, the comment here was from Buckeye Steve, who says, I say this as a psychiatrist, that you're right to key in on the fact that Winfrey continues to act away despite having the opportunity in front of him. I can't diagnose him, but it's safe to say he struggles to control his impulses. There's no way he wasn't aware that he was already on a short leash. And now that he's thrown away the opportunity, lifetime, unfortunate all around. Look, here's the thing with Perion or any situation like this. I can only react to what I know, right? And I think a lot of athletes and sometimes a lot of people just who are in the media period kind of forget this, that people can only react to what they know. And what we know out there with Perion's not necessarily like the greatest look of all time with him. That doesn't mean that I'm going to assume that I have the full picture on him. I think I barely have a single digit percentage of what the full picture is with him, because I don't know that man personally. I don't know nobody who knows that man personally. I'm not in that man's circle, life, or around anybody who's in that man's circle or life. So I cannot speak for anything there, and nobody in the YouTube comment section with any like definitiveness can really speak to it either. What we can say is, Perion is clearly acting in a way that is going against the goal of being a successful football player. What has come out about him has not been stuff that has been helpful towards going towards that goal. I don't know if that's his goal or not, but what I can say is if the goal is to get here, this stuff has not been helpful for him. And if that's where he wants to get to, I hope he takes serious steps and makes serious changes in his life to be able to get towards that goal, because he does have the natural talent to achieve it. Will he get the opportunity? That's time will tell on all of that. There's a whole legal situation that has to play out with him. But he needs to find a way to figure out how he can reach whatever goals he wants to reach in life. Because right now, I don't know what goals he's reaching for, but it doesn't seem like he's on track for any goal that I can think of. So unfortunate, but he's still, like, in the grand scheme of things, this is somebody who's under 25. Like, he could make some changes to his life. And hopefully he could just become a better person, whether that means he becomes a star football player or not. At this point, like, that's secondary, but more or less so he could just become a good person and a productive member of society. So, you know, there's a lot of time for the story of Perion, wherever it goes, to kind of figure itself out. But right now, it's not looking great for his football career. I would say that, if that's even a thought on his mind at the moment, because I couldn't imagine it could be that prescient of a thought when, you know, you put yourself in as deep as a hole as he has. The next comments are going to come from the How Good Does Deshaun Watson Need to Be quarterback review video. So JC Troller says 3P. By the way, shout out to y'all who watch all 3 videos. Get ready for the football season, because I might be dropping 3 videos a day more often. I agree Dobbs is being developed as part of the organization, whether it's a coach or in front of somebody in front office. Deepa Destin Barry, we want really smart guys. Yeah, Dobbs is smart and Dobbs is great, and I think a lot of people respect him. I think he's somebody who could become an offensive coordinator if he wants to. He could become a GM if he wants to. You know, time will tell, but the sky's the limit for Dobbs in his post-football career, because he's one of the more qualified people on the Cleveland Browns right now. You know what I mean? Is Nick Chubb enough? This is my running back room ranking. Shout out to member Theo, who says, hey, I'm excited to have multiple ways to win. Like, for a while, it's been that if we couldn't lean on Nick Chubb in the second half with the lead, we'd be in for quite a bit of trouble. But now there's more different things opposing defenses to worry about. Watch someone think they can take a break from stacking the box and get punched in the mouth by Nick Chubb. Theo, you bring up a good point here. The more ways you have to win, the less ways there are to beat you. Right? Like, that's just the truth of it. And the issue that the Browns have had, even in 2020, and this is why I say when the quarterback plays good, the Browns are a very good team, because right now, or at least the last few years, the only way the Browns have had to win is if they can get really good production out their run game and be able to play a slow style of football. Now, if they can have a more explosive passing threat, that clearly changes things for them. So having more ways to win makes it so that there's also less ways to beat you, which means you'll win more games. Denzel Ward due for a huge bounce back. This is my DB position room video. All Bean says, let's just hope that Denzel Ward was like J. Cole dropping Born Center, and this year he's going to come back with Forest Hill Drive. Yeah, man, he had a bad one last year. Hopefully he comes back with the classic. Hopefully he comes back with the classic, because he dropped some trash last year. The Browns are back. Every storyline you need to know from training camp. Here, hi, I love your reference to number 6, Browns history, Cody Kessler and Brian Hoyer. Yeah, man, you know, I think that number 6 is a very cherished number in this franchise's recent history. Who could forget when the Browns got in the first place with Brian Hoyer in 2014? Who could forget Cody Kessler? He did pretty good in his opening press conference with the Cleveland Browns. Who could forget the legendary stuff that both of those guys did to this to this franchise, and they should always be remembered and respected for it. Smoky Mountain says, we made it here. Thanks, Q, for the long bridge of the season. Will you be doing weekly film breakdowns as you mentioned earlier this year? Yeah, once the season starts, I'll be back to the all 22 grind doing a film breakdown. So no doubt about that. But y'all have a great day. and have an even better night.